Welcome to my channel, Old Coins History 333. In this video, I tell you about the United States of America Lincoln 1-cent pennies, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, one that not only holds historical significance, but also an impressive value. We're talking about the 2017 Washington $quarter Ozark Riverways, a coin that might just be the hidden gem of your collection. Now, we all know about the Washington quarter. It's one of those iconic coins that almost every American is familiar with. But did you know that over the years, this quarter has undergone various designs, each telling a different story about the rich history and culture of the United States? This story starts long before 2017 and takes us on a journey through time to the creation of the Ozark Riverways quarter. Let's take a step back. The United States Mint has been producing quarters for over 2 centuries, and every few years, they release a special design to highlight a specific state or national landmark. In 2017, they released a series of quarters known as the America the Beautiful series, which honors national parks, forests, and other natural landmarks across the country. Among these coins, the Ozark Riverways quarter stands out for its representation of the Ozark National Scenic Riverways in Missouri. You may be wondering, what's so special about the Ozark Riverways? And why does this coin command such attention? Well, let's break it down. The Ozark National Scenic Riverways, which was established in 1964, is a breathtaking national park located in the heart of the Missouri Ozarks. It's home to some of the clearest and most pristine rivers in the United States, the Current River and the Jacks Fork River. The park is a haven for outdoor enthusiasts, offering opportunities for canoeing, kayaking, hiking, camping, and exploring the incredible natural beauty of the region. Now, the coin itself is a masterpiece of design. The obverse, as always, features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, but it's the reverse side that draws all the attention. Here, we see an intricate depiction of a canoeist paddling along the river, with the Ozark landscape in the background. The scene captures the essence of the park, its rugged terrain, clear waters, and the timeless appeal of the Ozarks. Above the canoeist, the words Ozark National Scenic Riverways are inscribed, along with the year of the release, 2017. The beauty of the design lies in its simplicity, yet it manages to encapsulate the essence of this stunning part of the country. As with all coins in the America the Beautiful series, the Ozark Riverways quarter was produced in limited numbers, making it an instant collector's item. The U.S. Mint's attention to detail and historical accuracy ensures that these coins aren't just currency. They are tangible pieces of American heritage. Let's talk about the minting process for a moment. This quarter was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and, as usual, it was produced in both regular circulation quality and special collector's editions, such as the proof and uncirculated coins. The regular circulating coins are composed of 8.33% nickel and 91.67% copper, which gives them their familiar weight and look. The proof and uncirculated coins, however, are minted with a higher quality finish, making them more desirable for collectors who value pristine condition. Now, while the Ozark Riverways quarter started as a part of a circulation series, it didn't take long for numismatists and collectors to recognize its value beyond face value. Coins like this are cherished not only for their beautiful design and connection to American heritage, but also for their potential to appreciate in value over time. The rarity of the 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter stems from several factors. First, the limited mintage, particularly of the proof and uncirculated versions, means fewer coins are available to the public. In addition, certain factors, such as mint errors, coin conditions, and even the year of release, can significantly affect the value of a coin in the market. The more pristine the coin, the higher its potential value. And in the case of this quarter, the ones in perfect condition can command staggering prices. But let's get to the part you've all been waiting for: the current value of the 2017 Washington quarter Ozark Riverways SO. What makes this coin so special, and why is it worth so much more than just a quarter's face value? Well, this is where the story gets even more interesting. The value of a coin like the Ozark Riverways quarter can vary depending on several factors: the quality of the coin, its rarity, and the demand within the collector community. Coins that are in mint condition, especially those that are error coins or from limited edition sets, can fetch astronomical prices. As of today, the most valuable examples of the 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter are those in perfect, or graded, condition. A coin graded MS 70, which means it has no visible imperfections under magnification, can be worth over $13,000. Yes, you heard that right, $13,000. That's a far cry from the coin's original face value of 25 cents. And the interesting thing is, as more time passes, the value of these coins could continue to rise, especially as the number of uncirculated, error-free coins diminishes. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or investor? If you're lucky enough to own a 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter in pristine condition, or perhaps one with a minting error, you could be holding on to a small fortune. It's not just about collecting. It's about recognizing the historical and cultural significance of the coin and understanding how time and rarity affect its value. Beyond the immediate financial value, this coin also represents something much larger. It's a symbol of America's vast natural beauty, the preservation of its landscapes, and the ongoing effort to protect its natural resources. The Ozark National Scenic Riverways, the inspiration behind the coin's design, is a place of tranquility and wonder, and the quarter serves as a reminder of the need to protect our national parks for future generations. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. Coin collecting isn't just about profit. It's about appreciating the history behind each piece, understanding the stories they tell, and the places they represent. The 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter may be worth a great deal of money today, but its true value is in the story it tells about our nation's beauty, its preservation, and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. So, what's the takeaway here? If you have a 2017 Ozark Riverways quarter in your collection, take a close look at it. It might just be worth a lot more than you think. If you're in the market for rare coins, this one might be worth considering, as its value could continue to rise in the coming years. And there you have it, the story of the 2017 Washington $2 Ozark Riverways. From its stunning design and historical significance to its impressive value today, this coin is a perfect example of why coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a journey through the past and a potential investment in the future. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more amazing coin stories and tips. Until next time, happy collecting! Top 2. We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and visually stunning coins ever to be released by the United States Mint, the 2018 Washington $2 Voyagers. You might be familiar with the Washington Quarter series, but did you know that this particular release, in 2018, is part of a series that highlights some of the most significant national parks in America? Among the many stunning releases of the America the Beautiful coin series, the Voyagers Quarter stands out not just for its design, but for the deeper story it tells about American history, exploration, and the great outdoors. The Voyagers Quarter honors Voyagers National Park in Minnesota, and today, we're going to explore how this coin came to be, what makes it unique, and why it's become such a coveted item among collectors. Stick around until the end, because you might be surprised by the value of this seemingly simple quarter. It's worth a lot more than you think. Let's begin with the history of the America the Beautiful coin program. This program was first launched in 2010 by the United States Mint, and it's been one of the most celebrated coin series since its inception. The goal was simple: to honor the national parks and public lands that have played such a crucial role in the country's development and cultural heritage. Every year, 5 new designs are released, each featuring a different national park or landmark, and by the end of the program, all 50 states will have been represented. So why did the U.S. Mint choose Voyagers National Park for the 2018 release? Well, let's take a look at the history of this extraordinary park. Voyagers National Park is located in the northernmost part of Minnesota, bordering Canada, and it encompasses over 200,000 acres of pristine wilderness. The park is named after the French-Canadian fur traders, known as voyagers, who navigated the area's vast network of lakes and waterways in the 18th and 19th centuries. These traders were integral to the fur trade, and their journey helped to shape the development of the region, making it a pivotal part of American exploration history. The coin commemorates not just the park itself, but also the spirit of exploration, adventure, and resilience that the Voyagers embodied. In 2018, when the Mint decided to feature Voyagers National Park, They were not only paying homage to the explorers of the past, but also highlighting the enduring importance of these natural areas in the American identity. The coin's design takes us on a journey to one of the most serene, yet rugged, landscapes in the United States. Now, let's talk about the design of this iconic quarter. If you take a closer look at the reverse side of the coin, you'll notice an absolutely breathtaking depiction of a canoeist paddling through one of the many lakes in Voyageurs National Park. The image beautifully captures the essence of the park's rugged wilderness and its vital connection to water. In the background, you can see the silhouette of the park's towering pine trees and the serene waters that have attracted explorers for centuries. The simplicity and elegance of the design are striking, and it evokes the feeling of adventure and tranquility that characterizes Voyageurs. Above the canoeist, the words Voyageurs are inscribed, along with Minnesota and 2018, marking both the location and the year of release. The coin's obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has been standard on the quarter since 1932. This well-known image of Washington is accompanied by the familiar inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and United States of America. But what really makes this coin stand out among others in the America the Beautiful series is its connection to a crucial chapter in American history. The design doesn't just commemorate a national park, it celebrates a rich cultural narrative about the fur trade, the indigenous tribes, and the explorers who shaped the early history of the United States. When you hold this coin in your hand, you're not just holding currency. You're holding a piece of history that pays tribute to an era of exploration and the people who lived it. Now, let's take a deeper look at the minting process. As with All America the Beautiful quarters, the 2018 Voyageurs quarter was produced in multiple versions. The U.S. Mint minted these quarters in both circulating quality and collector quality versions, which are typically the ones sought after by numismatists. These collector coins, especially those that are proof or uncirculated, are usually in pristine condition, and it's this high level of quality that makes them more valuable over time. The coins were minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and their composition is the same as that of all modern U.S. quarters: 8.33% nickel and 91.67% copper. While the circulating versions of the coin are designed to be used in everyday transactions, the proof versions, which are specially minted to have a mirror-like finish, and the uncirculated versions, with their finely detailed finish, are particularly appealing to collectors. These coins are often sold in specially packaged sets, which helps to preserve their condition and make them even more desirable. Now, you might be wondering why this coin has garnered such attention in the collecting community. After all, it's just a quarter, right? But what makes coins like the 2018 Voyager so special is that they are part of a limited mintage series, and as time passes, the number of pristine, high-quality coins available for sale becomes fewer and fewer. As a result, demand increases, and so does the value of these coins. Moreover, collectors love the designs of the America the Beautiful series because they showcase the beauty and history of America's national parks. In fact, if you look at the value of the 2018 Voyageurs quarter today, you'll see that it has appreciated quite a bit since its release. A coin in uncirculated condition can fetch several dollars, but if you happen to have one that's been graded at MS-70, the highest possible grade for a coin, it can be worth a lot more, up to $10,000. Yes, that's right, $10,000. A Voyageurs quarter in perfect condition, with no visible imperfections and a flawless finish, has seen its value skyrocket. And it's an incredible example of how a coin that was once just a small piece of currency can appreciate significantly in value over time. It's also a reminder that the world of coin collecting can offer huge rewards for those who know what to look for. But what makes this coin so valuable, aside from its condition? Well, rarity plays a big role. Even though the U.S. Mint produces millions of quarters each year, only a small number of coins are considered perfect by professional grading standards. Coins with errors or imperfections, such as misprints or uneven striking, can also hold value among collectors. The 2018 Voyageurs quarter, being a part of a limited run series and with the potential for minting errors, has created a great deal of excitement in the numismatic community. The demand for America the Beautiful quarters in general has also driven up the value of coins like the Voyageurs quarter. As people continue to recognize the beauty and historical significance of the national parks, they also see the potential for these coins to become highly prized collectibles. Coin collectors and investors alike understand that the rarity and condition of a coin are paramount to its value, and that's why the Voyager's quarter is so desirable. For those of you out there who might have one of these coins in your collection or are thinking about starting one, this is a perfect example of how certain coins can go far beyond their face value. You may have bought this coin as part of your everyday change, or you may have sought it out specifically because of the beautiful design and the significance of the national park it represents. Either way, it's now a rare piece of American history, and its value is only expected to rise as time goes on. Now, as we wrap up today's deep dive into the 2018 Washington $quarter Voyager's coin, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a way of connecting with the past, preserving history, and even making an investment for the future. The Voyager's quarter is a perfect example of why coin collecting is so much more than meets the EYE.SO. If you happen to have one of these coins in your collection, or if you come across one in your change, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think, and it might just be your gateway to an amazing coin collection. Top 3. We're going to explore a truly fascinating coin from U.S. history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. While quarters are typically viewed as everyday currency, some have gained iconic status among collectors, and the 1965 quarter is one of the most intriguing. This particular coin comes with a unique story, and you're going to want to stick around until the end to hear about the jaw-dropping value it can fetch today, up to $87,000 in some cases. So, let's jump into the story of the 1965 Washington quarter. First, let's understand the historical context of the 1965 Washington quarter. The 1960s were a period of tremendous change in America. The country was going through political, social, and economic upheaval, and this turbulence was reflected in the world of U.S. coinage. 1965 was particularly significant for the United States Mint, as it marked a shift in the composition of U.S. coins due to the rising cost of silver. In fact, 1965 was the year that the U.S. government made a major decision. They would stop using silver in the production of most circulating coins. This decision was sparked by the dramatic rise in silver prices, which had become unsustainable for the U.S. Mint to produce coins with a high silver content. Prior to 1965, the Washington quarter, which had been in circulation since 1932, was made of 90% silver. However, due to the rising cost of silver and the risk of hoarding, the U.S. Mint was forced to make changes to the metal content of the quarter. In 1965, the U.S. government began producing quarters using a clad composition, a combination of copper and nickel. This marked the end of the era when Washington quarters were made from nearly pure silver. The new composition, introduced in 1965, consisted of a copper core sandwiched between two layers of cupronickel. This was a significant departure from the previous 90% silver quarters, and it was a major part of why the 1965 Washington quarter became such an interesting and collectible coin. But that's not the only reason why collectors are still hunting for these coins. There's much more to the story. Before we get into the value of the 1965 quarter and why it's worth so much today, let's take a closer look at the design of this iconic coin. The Washington quarter has been the face of the quarter since 1932. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, created by the renowned sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's image is set in a way that exudes both strength and elegance, and it has become one of the most recognizable portraits in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse of the 1965 Washington quarter, you'll see a bald eagle, symbolizing the strength and resilience of the United States. The eagle is perched on a branch, with its wings spread wide as if soaring toward freedom. The words E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, and United States of America, are inscribed along the upper perimeter of the coin, with liberty and in God we trust positioned along the lower perimeter. But what makes the 1965 Washington quarter so intriguing, especially from a collector's standpoint, is the very moment in time it represents. This coin was minted during a pivotal period in American history, during a shift in coin production and a nation grappling with economic change. Many of these 1965 quarters were produced in large quantities, and their new composition was a response to the economic conditions of the time. However, the interesting part comes when we talk about certain key variations and minting errors that occurred. The standard 1965 Washington quarter, in terms of its appearance and design, is fairly straightforward. However, there are some rarities associated with the 1965 quarters that make them extremely valuable to collectors. The most important factor here is the existence of a particular variety known as the 1965 SMS, Special Mint Set, Washington Quartered, T.O. explain. In addition to the regular circulating coins produced in Philadelphia and Denver, the U.S. Mint also produced a limited number of special proof-like coins in what was called a Special Mint Set. The SMS coins were designed to provide collectors with higher quality coins for their collections. These SMS coins were struck with a special technique to give them a frosted, semi-proof appearance, but they were not officially proof coins. They were only available in specially issued sets and were never intended for general circulation. The 1965 SMS Washington Quarter is a key rarity. Because of its production process and the limited quantity made, this coin stands out among other 1965 quarters. SMS coins are rarer, and the condition of these coins plays a massive role in their overall value. A coin in high grade, especially a high-grade SMS 1965 Washington Quarter, can be worth thousands of dollars, and some of the finest examples have fetched over $10,000 at auction. But the real excitement begins when we talk about the potential of the 1965 Washington Quarter to fetch a staggering $87,000. So, what makes this coin so valuable? It's not just about the SMS variety. There's another significant reason why these coins can command such high prices: the rare and extremely valuable double die errors. Double die errors happen when a coin is struck multiple times by the same die, creating a noticeable doubling of the design on the coin. In the case of the 1965 Washington Quarter, some coins were struck with a double die error, particularly in the date and the lettering. This type of error, though rare, can significantly increase a coin's value, especially if the error is noticeable and the coin is in high grade. For collectors, finding a 1965 Washington Quarter with this type of error is like finding a hidden treasure. In fact, some of these double die error coins have been known to sell for $87,000 or even more at auction. The value of these coins depends on several factors, including the degree of doubling, the condition of the coin, and the rarity of the error. As these coins become more scarce and harder to find in mint condition, their value continues to climb. So, how do you identify a valuable 1965 Washington Quarter? If you're looking for a 1965 SMS Quarter, you'll want to check for the high-quality, proof-like appearance of the coin. SMS coins have a distinctive shine, with sharp details and a mirror-like surface. These coins were specially minted for collectors, so they stand out from the regular circulating quarters of the same year. But if you're hunting for a rare 1965 double die error coin, the key areas to check are the date and the word Liberty on the obverse of the coin. Look closely for any signs of doubling. If you can spot it, you might have a coin that could fetch a small fortune. To truly understand the allure of the 1965 Washington Quarter, you need to appreciate its history and significance. Not only did it mark a shift in the way American coins were produced, but it also came at a time of great national change. And with rare errors like the double die or limited production SMS coins, this quarter has become a holy grail for collectors. For those of you out there who might have a 1965 Washington Quarter in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin jar, take a closer look. You could be holding something worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. But how do you know if your coin is valuable? Professional coin grading is the next step. If you suspect you have a rare or error coin, consider sending it to a reputable coin grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These companies will assess the condition of your coin and assign it a grade, which can significantly affect its value. If you're just starting your coin collection, the 1965 Washington Quarter is definitely one to keep an eye on. Not only is it a great example of U.S. history, but its potential for value and rarity make it a prime addition to any collection. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned numismatist, this coin is bound to impress. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the 1965 Washington Quarter dollar, remember, it's not just a quarter. It's a piece of American history. Whether you're collecting for investment purposes, historical significance, or pure passion, the 1965 Quarter offers something special for everyone. With rare minting errors, limited SMS coins, and historical context, it's easy to see why this coin is so valuable. Top 4. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating quarters in U.S. history, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar. Now, at first glance, a quarter might seem like just another coin. But this particular year has a rich history, a unique design, and a surprising value that will absolutely leave you amazed. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll know just why some of these coins have sold for a staggering $43,000. Yes, you heard that right, $43,000. But how? Let's find out. Let's begin with the historical context of the 1979 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter itself has been a staple of U.S. coinage since its first minting in 1932, created to honor George Washington on the 200th anniversary of his birth. The design by John Flanagan, which features a profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, has become one of the most iconic in U.S. coin history. But by the time the 1970s rolled around, the country was in a very different place. The economy was going through shifts, and U.S. coinage was evolving. The 1979 Washington quarter is part of a series of quarters minted during a transitional period in U.S. history. This decade followed the end of silver in most circulating coins in 1965, and by the late 70s, the U.S. Mint was working with a clad composition of copper and nickel instead of the 90% silver coins that had once been standard. This shift, which had begun in the mid-60s, changed the look and feel of many coins, including the Washington quarter. Now, why should we care about a quarter from 1979? The answer lies in its production details and the various error varieties that make certain 1979 quarters highly valuable today. Most people know the Washington quarter as a fairly common coin, but what many don't realize is that, within certain years, particularly in the 1970s, some quarters were struck with minting errors or special features that make them exceptionally rare. These rare varieties are what make the 1979 Washington quarter dollar so intriguing to collectors. But before we delve into the errors and rarities, let's look at the basic design of the coin. On the obverse of the 1979 Washington quarter, you'll find a strong, dignified portrait of George Washington. This design, created by John Flanagan, was initially chosen to honor the nation's first president on the 200th anniversary of his birth. The eagle on the reverse is one of the most iconic symbols of American strength and freedom. The eagle's wings are outstretched in flight, carrying an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing both peace and readiness for war. Around the eagle, you'll find the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar, along with the mint mark indicating where the coin was struck. For the most part, the design of the 1979 quarter didn't differ much from earlier issues. What makes this year particularly interesting is the number of errors and anomalies that appeared. As we know, error coins can be incredibly valuable, especially when they feature clear and distinguishable mistakes that were made during the minting process. So, what exactly makes the 1979 Washington quarter stand out? Let's talk about the minting process first. In 1979, the United States Mint produced Washington quarters at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the standard, non-proof quarters, while Denver produced the quarters with the D mint mark. The San Francisco Mint, on the other hand, produced proof coins with the S mint mark, and these coins were primarily intended for collectors to SO. What makes some of these 1979 quarters stand out from the rest? Well, let's start with the first category, the 1979 S-proof quarter. The 1979 S-proof quarter is one of the most coveted coins for collectors. Proof coins, by definition, are specially made for collectors and have a much higher quality than the regular coins minted for circulation. These coins are struck multiple times using polished dies, resulting in a sharp, mirror-like finish that is highly desirable. The 1979 S-proof Washington quarter is especially sought after due to its beauty and rarity. Coins in pristine condition, such as those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch hundreds of dollars. But that's just the beginning. If the coin has been kept in exceptional condition with no scratches, wear, or defects, it can reach far higher values. Now, let's talk about a more unusual and much rarer variety. The 1979 double die obverse error. This is where things start to get really exciting. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times. but the die used to strike the coin has misaligned slightly during one of the strikes. This causes the design on the coin to appear doubled. In the case of the 1979 quarter, some of these coins feature noticeable doubling on the word Liberty and the date 1979. On the obverse, to the naked eye, it might look like just a slight blurring or doubling of the design, but to collectors, this error is a big deal. The 1979 double die obverse Washington quarter is one of the most valuable coins from this year. While they were produced in relatively small numbers, many were overlooked and spent, which makes finding a high-quality example of this error incredibly rare. Depending on the grade and condition of the coin, these 1979 double die quarters can be worth anywhere from a few $100s to upwards of $43,000. Yes, some high-grade examples of this rare error have fetched prices as high as $43,000 at auction.so. How can you tell if your 1979 Washington quarter has this valuable error? You'll want to closely examine the areas around the word Liberty and the date 1979. If you see any noticeable doubling or doubling in the letters, then you might have a coin that's worth a lot more than its face value. The key is to look for a doubled appearance, not just a faint shadow, but a noticeable doubling that can be seen clearly with a magnifying glass or loupe. But it's not just about errors. There's also the simple fact that some 1979 quarters are valuable just because they were well preserved. For a coin to be truly valuable, it has to be in excellent condition. Coins that are graded in the highest condition, such as MS 65 or MS 66, are worth far more than coins that are worn down or heavily circulated. If you happen to find a 1979 quarter that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the specific variety and the demand from collectors. The story of the 1979 Washington quarter dollar is a story of rarity, transition, and the fascinating world of coin collecting. Despite being a coin that was minted in relatively large quantities, certain versions of the 1979 quarter stand out due to minting errors, especially the double die variety, and because of the extraordinary condition in which some of these coins have been preserved over the decades. These rarities, combined with their increasing scarcity, make the 1979 Washington quarter an appealing target for collectors.so. As we wrap up today's deep dive into the 1979 Washington quarter, I want to remind you to always keep an eye on your pocket change. It's easy to dismiss a quarter as just a coin, but who knows? You might just find a rare 1979 double die obverse quarter or a high-quality proof coin that could end up being worth a small fortune. Remember, the key to successful coin collecting is knowledge, patience, and a little bit of luck. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you want more content about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. I've got a lot more amazing coin stories to share with you. Until next time, happy collecting and be sure to check your change. You never know what hidden treasure might be waiting for you. Top 5. We're going to explore a coin that might seem like just another quarter. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll find a fascinating story hidden beneath its surface. I'm talking about the 1983 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that carries with it both history and a surprising level of intrigue among coin collectors. Now, when you think of quarters, they're often just part of everyday life. Whether it's change at the store or a quarter tossed in a jar, most people don't think twice about the quarters in their pockets. But the 1983 Washington quarter is a different story. It holds a particular place in numismatic history, especially when you start to explore some of the rare variations and errors that exist within this year's issue. By the end of this video, you'll see why a particular 1983 Washington quarter could fetch up to a stunning $38,000. Sounds unbelievable? Stick with me as we break it down. First, let's start with the broader context, the historical significance of the 1983 Washington quarter. By 1983, the country had already experienced a huge transformation in its coinage. Since 1965, U.S. coins like the quarter had no longer been made of silver, and instead, the U.S. Mint used a copper-nickel-clad composition. This shift had been made necessary by the rising price of silver and the changing economic conditions of the 1960s. So, by 1983, the Washington quarter, like its predecessors from the 70s and early 80s, was a clad coin, composed of copper and nickel, rather than the silver that had once made the quarter so valuable. But The story of the 1983 Washington quarter isn't just about the change in composition. It's also about the unique characteristics of the coin that set it apart from other years. Let's take a moment to appreciate the design that has become one of the most enduring images in U.S. coinage. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, and ever since, it has featured the profile of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. Washington, the first president of the United States, has been immortalized on this coin for nearly a century. On the reverse, you'll find a majestic bald eagle, a symbol of strength and freedom. The eagle is perched with its wings outstretched, holding an olive branch and arrows, signifying both peace and readiness to defend the nation. Surrounding this striking design are the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar, with In God We Trust, just below the eagle. Now, while the design of the 1983 Washington quarter may seem similar to earlier issues, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. The key thing to remember is that even though the design stayed the same, some unique features and errors emerged in the production process that would turn certain 1983 quarters into valuable collector's items. It's these subtle details that make the 1983 quarter such a key piece in the world of numismatics. Let's dive into the minting process of the 1983 Washington quarter and why certain variations make it especially interesting. The U.S. Mint produced the 1983 Washington quarter at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The regular circulating quarters were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins intended for collectors. Each mint used slightly different processes and had different levels of quality control, and these factors can affect the rarity and value of the coins. But here's the thing. While the minting process of 1983 was largely standard, the key to understanding the value of the 1983 Washington quarter lies in the rare variations, errors, and conditions that are found among certain coins. In particular, there are a few factors that make the 1983 Washington quarter so special for collectors. One of the most sought-after types of 1983 quarters is the 1983 D Washington quarter with a die crack. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coins develops a crack. When this happens, the crack can appear on the coins as a raised line or a faint distortion. For some collectors, die cracks are considered a fascinating part of a coin's production, and they can add significant value. A 1983 Washington quarter with a prominent die crack can be worth several $100s depending on the size and location of the crack. In some cases, rare die crack quarters have been known to fetch thousands of dollars when found in good condition. But die cracks aren't the only error to look out for. The 1983 quarter is also known for certain striking errors, which occur when the coin is struck incorrectly during production. One of the most interesting striking errors is the off-center strike. In an off-center strike, the coin's design isn't aligned properly, resulting in a quarter where part of the design is missing or off to the side. These off-center coins are very rare, and the more extreme the off-center strike, the higher the value. A 1983 Washington quarter with an extreme off-center error could be worth thousands of dollars depending on its condition. But the true excitement of the 1983 Washington quarter dollar lies in one of the rarest errors that occurs only occasionally, the double die error. A double die occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the same die, causing the design to appear doubled on certain parts of the coin. This can happen when the die is not properly aligned, and it creates a second impression of the design in a slightly offset position. On the 1983 Washington quarter, the most common places for this double die error to appear are on the date and the word Liberty. Some collectors have even reported finding double die errors on other areas of the coin, like the letters in God We Trust. Now, if you're wondering why these double die error coins are so valuable, it's because they are incredibly rare and difficult to find. Most coins from 1983 were produced in large quantities, and the majority of those coins don't have the errors collectors are looking for. But if you do manage to find a 1983 Washington quarter with a double die error in good condition, you could have a coin that's worth much more than face value. In fact, some of these double die error coins have sold for upwards of $38,000 at auction, depending on the condition and the rarity of the error. So, how can you tell if your 1983 Washington quarter is valuable? The first step is to carefully examine the coin for any signs of errors. If you spot a die crack or a double die, that's a clear indication that the coin could be worth more than its face value. If you come across a 1983 quarter with an off-center strike or a noticeable doubling on the design, you might just have a rare coin on your hands. But even without these errors, a well-preserved, uncirculated 1983 Washington quarter in pristine condition can still hold significant value, especially if it has been graded by a professional serviced SO. What's the final takeaway here? The 1983 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how small, seemingly insignificant details can make a coin incredibly valuable. Whether it's the errors caused during minting, the rarity of certain variations, or the condition of the coin, the 1983 Washington quarter offers plenty of potential for collectors. If you have a 1983 Washington quarter lying around in your collection, take a moment to examine it closely. You might be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. And even if you don't find a rare error, remember that coins from this era are still highly collectible, and the value of well-preserved specimens continues to rise. Before I wrap up, I want to remind you that coin collecting isn't just about finding coins worth big money. It's also about the joy of learning, the excitement of discovering hidden treasures, and the thrill of being part of a community of passionate collectors. Whether you're collecting for investment purposes, historical significance, or just for fun, coins like the 1983 Washington quarter are an amazing part of U.S. history. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and valuable collectibles, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, check your change. You might have something special hiding in your pocket.